Oppenheimer, written and directed by Christopher Nolan, is one of the best movies of the year. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. This movie was fantastic from beginning to end. There are no words to describe how many feelings this film made me feel over the course of the 3 hours. And I gotta say, those 3 hours flew by so fast. I didn't even notice, like, by the time the movie was ending. I just had such an amazing time. And I'm gonna explain why, because there are so many things about this movie that made me think a lot. It is just really well crafted, as is usual from Christopher Nolan. I think he's one of the best directors of our generation, if not possibly the best. I think he's competing up there with Guillermo del Toro. I think maybe Quentin Tarantino. I just love those director so much, and I just love him so much. I think he's just amazing in so many ways. So I love the movie. I love the style of the movie. I think the cinematography was fantastic, and let's just go over each aspect of the movie, starting with the context, because it is just so amazing. So the movie is the biography of Robert J. Oppenheimer, who is credited as the father of the atomic bomb, along with a team of very important scientists who created this bomb in Los Alamos, which is a place where they did the test in New Mexico. They really focused on all that stuff, and I was really amazed at how Christopher Nolan captured all the complexities of this story, because it is a very interesting story. I read the biography, Oppenheimer, Portrait of an Enigma, which is back there. I just love that book. And I think there are a lot of aspects of Oppenheimer's story that are very interesting, and it was really amazing to see it on screen. And it was done in a very good way, because it shows aspects of his life, of his story, that really shaped his way of thinking, the way the decisions he took, the way he collaborated with the US government. And those become more and more clear as the movie goes by, as the years pass. And this is a film that is divided in several different sections, which I'll cover right now. But I just love the way the movie balances all these aspects in order to create a very cohesive story, and shows us everything from his life story and how that relates to the overall panic of the post-war period, but also before and during World War II. Also, before I continue with the story, I'm gonna praise the special effects, because I think the special effects in this movie and just the sound design, everything from the music, the editing, like especially like there's like small edits when they're explaining the scientific concepts, where they show like small footage representing the atoms, representing some of the concepts the scientists talk about. I just feel like all those things just make for a very amazing like experience at the movie theater. The writing is so fast paced, like it goes by like this, and that is something I liked about the movie. Like every single section feels so good. Like every scene is just works overall for the movie. And I just loved it so much. And also because I'm very, very, very interested in science, I think it's a fascinating topic, especially with physics, like how theories become practice and all that. I just loved the way the movie takes on the scientific concepts. And because I loved like all the physics, and like seeing on the screen all these characters representing like Niels Bohr, Einstein, Enrico Fermi, I just thought it was really amazing. And it was just full of really amazing like references to real life scientists, like their work, the importance of their work. I just thought that was fascinating. And of course, the focal point of the movie is Oppenheimer, and he's brilliantly played by Cillian Murphy. I thought his performance was really good. I think he's just an overall great actor, but in this one he shines really well. I loved Emily Blunt as his wife Kitty. I love the story, and there's like every single one of the characters plays a very important role. And I love the way they portrayed the scientist. I think that was the highlight of the movie. And also Robert Downey Jr.'s performance as Strauss in the second and third parts of the movie is a very important character. I think his performance was very well done. It really captures like the feeling of the, you know, the tension in the later parts of the story with Oppenheimer. And now I'm going to explain like what happens during the movie. So be aware, because I'm going to go into a little bit of spoilers. So at the beginning of the movie, we follow Oppenheimer's education, the way he got involved with a lot of like scientific projects, and also it like plays with a lot of different important parts. For example, a passionate politics of the era. Like it shows him how he becomes interested in left-wing politics, especially during the era of the Spanish Civil War, those kind of topics. And it shows just how his mentality changes over the course of the movie, over the course of Oppenheimer's life. And it also shows his personal relationships. And it was a very intense life that he led. I think he like falling in love, his affairs. I think the movie covers that in a very important way. And also like funny moments, for example, the way he poisons his teacher's apple. That is something that actually happened, and it's really funny how they took it in the story. Like he poisoned his teacher's apple, and then he takes it before Niels Bohr takes a bite of it. I thought that was a really funny dramatization. It probably didn't happen that way, but it's funny how the movie included it. There are also like minor details in the story that when I remember when I read the book, I saw it on the film, and I was like, oh, okay, that actually happened. That is really funny how Christopher Nolan played with that. So it's really fun how he actually did his homework. He went researched a lot about Oppenheimer's story to craft this. And that is something I appreciate out of every biography and events that took place in real life. The movie also goes into a lot of detail in the scientific concepts, and also like the research at Los Alamos. So that entire section, how they start building towards the bomb, you realize like the focal point of the movie is how they built the bomb. and everything that builds up to that point is really well done. I think it really captures the tension, like the amazement of the discoveries, and how also like the race against the Nazis in Germany and like the rest of the world, like the Russians, how they were all building their own bombs. Like you feel the tension of the political. That is something I really appreciate about historical movies, is the way they take these topics and make you feel like you're in part of the movie and part of these conversations. I especially felt a lot of feeling when they were discussing like where to drop the bombs in Japan to make them surrender. Like I think it's a very heavy topic, a really important topic that has to be addressed in a, you know, respectful and powerful way. But like the way they were deciding it, I just really made me feel, because when you realize like how powerful and like dangerous these weapons are and how they use them, and basically had to make really hard decisions, like those kind of scenes where they were talking about using the bombs really hit me hard, because it, like the movie, like the editing is so good, and it immerses you so well into the movie that you start feeling like, oh, like the consequences of all the lives that were lost in the dropping of the bombs, and how like the consequences of the, like basically a nuclear apocalypse. So the movie does a really good job of that, especially through Oppenheimer's visions that he sees towards the end of the movie. For example, there's a scene where he is giving a speech and he starts feeling a lot of anxiety, and also like the camera work, the cinematography is really well done, and he starts seeing visions of people being burned, people being like suffering from the effects of the bomb, like basically coming to terms with the implications of his creation. And that is something that really made me feel a lot, because I've investigated and thought a lot about the effects of the atomic bomb. I think a nuclear apocalypse is a very heavy topic, and the movie just captures those feelings really well, is what I'm trying to say. And I think everybody from the filmmakers to the people who are involved in the Manhattan Project, like it's just a topic that evokes really heavy emotions, and I just love the way the movie takes on these topics. So like I said before, the movie takes on a lot of topics. It's really powerful, it's really well done, really well written. It's just basically an amazing journey from beginning to end, one of the best biopics I've ever seen in a while, especially with the last part, which deals with, you know, the entire trial of Robert Oppenheimer, because the United States government suspected him of being a communist. So the entire last section of the movie focuses on that, the way he has to explain how he's not a communist, he's not going to betray the United States. Those are all real events that happened, and I like the way the movie captures those feelings during the trials of Oppenheimer, like his rivalries towards the end, and just the way it affected his life. It shows a little bit of that towards the end. So it does a good job of balancing like the implications of the bomb, how it affected the world, and also centering on Oppenheimer's personal life and how, you know, that entire episode affected him and affected like the way he felt towards the end. And as last point, I think the movie does a really great job of, you know, it captured a lot of interest over the audience. I think it's a fantastic movie. There was a lot of hype surrounding it because Christopher Nolan never misses. I think that is a fantastic movie. It also, because it revives interest for science. So that is something I'm really passionate about, is like popular media that revives interest in science, makes people interested in, for example, physics, the implications of technology, all that kind of stuff. And any kind of movie that achieves that, for me, is an amazing home run. I loved Oppenheimer for doing that in our culture, especially right now with the Barbenheimer meme. I don't know, I feel like this movie's getting a lot of attention, but in a way it revives like that kind of attention towards these important like STEM topics that are very important for our future. And, you know, people in popular culture, popular media need to be aware of those topics. So that is something I liked about the movie. So anyways, overall, I'm going to give Oppenheimer a 95 out of 100. It's just a very powerful and amazing film with a lot of layers. And I think it captured everything I wanted to capture. And yeah, those are pretty much all my thoughts on the movie. So if you liked it, please let me know in the comments, share the video, subscribe, all that. And that is pretty much everything for today. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for my Barbie analysis video, which will come out later today. So anyways, thank you guys for watching once again, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.